What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what is going on in this crazy crypto space, because it is always changing. We're bearish, we're bullish, and right now it is seeming like it's going to be pretty bearish, and we may be going into a red Christmas. But still, long term, I'm completely bullish about Bitcoin. 2026 is probably going to be an amazing year, but as of right now, going off like weekly charts and like what's happening, I feel like Bitcoin could have a little bit more of a dip just from what I'm seeing in the news of what's going on. We got Japan about to sell off their bond markets. There's been a huge liquidation happening. Like this first article I'll cover is kind of talking about like they think an 80% correction is going to happen, but I don't think that will. We are in a different cycle because they're going off numbers based off previous cycles and what we've traditionally usually seen. I don't think we're going to follow that, but I think we will experience a little dip. How low? I don't know. Could we go to the previous all-time high, 76? That's definitely potential. Going beneath that, I doubt it. That's just my opinion on that, not financial advice and everything. But what's going on with the look at trading view? We'll take a look at Bitcoin right now. We're currently at $86,000. We did have a sharp downturn run. We were like this morning when I woke up, I saw we were at 88,000, 89, but then somewhere last night or yesterday we dropped down to $85,000. So that's where we're at right now. We're kind of holding that. Which way we're going to go? Maybe a little bit more down. Could it go down to 84? Could it go down to 80? Potentially, don't know. But everything with the news wise, like if we go to technicals, like this definitely gives us more information than CoinMarketCap does. So if you go down to the technicals, the summary of the oscillators and the moving averages, everything's pointing to sell. This is like not the fear and greed index where we are in fear territory, which is bullish news, but what everyone else is seeing is sell. The moving average is in a strong sell position, while the oscillators show a neutrality with it. And then here are all those numbers that move into it. So yeah, it feels like we might have a little bit of a dip going still, but that's okay. Long term, we know where Bitcoin's holding. For us long term holders, it's like price doesn't matter. All we know is, hey, if the price goes deeper, we're gonna add more to our stash at a lower price. So don't let it stop you from adding to your stash. Dollar cost averaging is always the best form of investing rather than day trading, weekly trading. It's like that comes with so much stress where you've got to pay attention to all these numbers in neutral. But if you're just buying for the long term, these are for your kids, grandchildren. This is the next generation. Price doesn't matter. You're just trying to stack as much Bitcoin as you can because that number is scarce. There is only 21 million Bitcoin and there will be no more after that. But yeah, let's go through a couple of these news articles just to see what the public is seeing and how this was going to sway their emotions and how they're going to hold on to their Bitcoin, because there's still a lot of people who aren't holding or not as convicted as us who are in it for the long haul. So these news articles can shake the price because they don't know what they're doing. Well, I guess I can't say, or maybe they really do not know what they're doing. They just say, I'm going to get Bitcoin, it's going to go up, but they haven't been in the space long enough to just shield them from this volatile market, because we're going to have ups, we're going to have downs, but in the long run, Bitcoin still wins. So let's go through some of these articles just to see what the public is seeing and how it's kind of swaying their decisions. So the first article is Bitcoin's parabola breakdown and how it raises a chance for an 80% correction, says a veteran trader. But again, these traders are going from old statistics, and I don't think we are in the traditional market as we used to be. So I'm not expecting an 80% correct, but I'm still expecting a dip. So the Bitcoin parabola broke, leading some analysts to predict an 80% drawdown in Bitcoin's price. Now, will growing demand from traditional finance and strategic crypto reserves nullify all bearish predictions? We'll see. So Bitcoin's price is under scrutiny again, as a veteran trader, Peter Brandt, is cautioning that Bitcoin is violated its parabolic trendline and a technical feature that preceded deep drawdowns in previous bull markets. Now, while the signal is bearish, the current market structure reflects a key difference from previous market cycles. And that's true, like I just said, we have big differences. Now, Bitcoin's parabolic breakdown raises chance of an 80%. So he's saying there's a chance of it, because yeah, you can't just push everything to the backside and just not think like it could happen. Like, yeah, it could happen in this space, but how likely is it? I don't know. But in an X post, Brandt highlighted that Bitcoin's bull market cycles have followed parabolic advances with exponential decay over time. Now, in each prior cycle, once a major parabola was violated, the price entered a prolonged corrective phase. Now, historically, these declines have peaked at less than 80% from the cycle high, but they have nonetheless been so severe. And here is that chart showing the Bitcoin 1 week analysis by Peter Brandt, just showing that line. But according to Brandt, Bitcoin's current parabolic structure has already failed, with Bitcoin down roughly 20% from its all-time high. While this does not imply an immediate collapse, it still places the market in a zone where downside volatility has historically expanded, particularly when global financial conditions tighten. Now, if history repeats itself, an 80% decline for Bitcoin would revisit $25,000 range over the next few months. And again, going back down to 25, I just don't see that as being actually potential, but you can't just lay it out. But I know we are in a bearish narrative right now. I'm feeling like I'm starting to see that. Like, there is still bullish news going to 2026, but the narrative is still bearish right now. So I believe we will have a little bit of a decline. Pressure is going to struggle. Maybe it's hold steady like we saw over the weekend, because like Bitcoin was just holding at 90,000 for so long. So maybe it'll be the same like right now at 85, and then maybe another dip down to 80. Who knows how this is going to play out, but there will be a point though where we start breaking back up. How low do we get? Don't know. So that's why, again, I always say dollar cost averaging is the best, because you can never time the market bottom. Like, nobody can do that. No one can time the bottom. No one can time the high. It's literally catching a falling knife, and no one can predict that. So dollar cost averaging, just you're slowly going in, slowly going up. That's pretty good. But macroeconomic pressure also adds to this technical breakdown. So technical warnings is unfolding as macroeconomic liquidity risks rise. Polymarket is pricing a Bank of Japan's rate hike at a 97% probability, with markets expecting a 0.25% increase on December. Now, in the past, the BOJ tightening has been hostile to global risk assets. When Japan raises interest rates, the yen carry trades unwind. Global funding conditions tighten, and then leveraged positions are forced to deleverage. Now, Bitcoin has reacted negatively to the last three BOJ hikes, falling roughly 27% in March of 2024. It dropped 30% in July of 2024, and then another 30% in January 2025. Now, according to the crypto commentator Quinten, he just posted, Bank of Japan is about to hike rates with a 0.25% on December 19th. So that's happening in 4 days. And then Bitcoin, though, has dumped the last 3 times the BOJ did hike their interest rates. So again, like with this coming along, again, bearish trends. Will we experience another 30% dip from where we're at right now? We just got to wait and see. But why is this Bitcoin market cycle different? Again, like I was also saying that in the beginning, how is it different? Again, we've been experiencing all-time high. Like ever since the Bitcoin ETFs came out, that was everything changed. We had a new all-time high before the Bitcoin halving, which was usually our catalyst point for Bitcoin's price to swing up. And then we had so we had the Bitcoin ETF, we had the Bitcoin halving event take place, we had a pro-crypto president, so that just skyrocketed the price to go all-time high to 126. But there hasn't been any more catalysts like really points to it. Sure, we get some interest rate cuts going on, but not as big as, those moves have not been as big lately. But again, I was getting off topic right there. I was like saying, though, the cycles are different now, because again, like we never really even had an altcoin season. Usually during these bull runs, there's an alt season. So there's so many signs out there just that points that we're not in the same cycle. So we can't really take like the strategy going, we're going to go 80% down again, back down to 25,000. It's like we can keep it in the back of our mind that still could happen, but it just doesn't seem like it is. It's from everything going on in the space. But despite the parallels, Bitcoin's demand structure has evolved since 2022. Glassnode data has shown that corporate Bitcoin treasuries have expanded from about 197,000 Bitcoin in January 2023 to over 1.08 million Bitcoins today, which is a 448% increase. So the growth reflected Bitcoin's evolution into a strategic balance sheet asset rather than just purely a speculative trade. So in addition, long-term holders' supply remains elevated, and spot ETF products have introduced more stable, institutionally driven inflows. Now, while these shifts do not eliminate downside risk, they suggest that the future drawdowns may be smaller and more absorbent driven than in the past market cycles. So they're saying, they're predicting that like because we have these institutional adoption levels happening, we're not going to see those huge dips. Like, so going back down to 25,000, what's like, so with these guys still flowing in capital into Bitcoin and ETFs, it's like, what is going to be our new bomb? That's what we're going to just keep following, just trying to figure out where we're going. But again, times are not different, but we are in a bearish narrative right now, just from what I see in the news today and what I'm going to be sharing with you. So yeah, so that's our first news article. Just again, the trader predicting 80% correction, but times are changed, might not be different. There's still bullish news going for 2026, but as of right now, it's looking like a red Christmas, so Santa may not be coming to get us back above 100,000. But again, you never know with crypto. With Bitcoin especially, we can have those $5,000, $10,000 moves happen within a day or two of each other, and boom, that's all out of proportion. So who knows what's going to happen in these next 2 weeks? Christmas is next Thursday, so a lot can happen, and I will keep you informed on what's going on. But let's continue on with the news. Again, this is really a bearish news day in the news articles, but Bitcoin sees pure manipulation as the US sell-offs liquidate $200 million in an hour. So this is probably what caused the dip that happened that we've seen. But Bitcoin fell below $87,000 as Wall Street selling contrasted with Strategy's announcement of a 10,000 plus Bitcoin buy over the past weekend. So yeah, even though we had some market sell downs, Strategy still bought more Bitcoin. So Strategy has acquired 10,645 Bitcoin for $980.3 million and an average price of $92,098 per Bitcoin. Now the company holds 671,268 Bitcoin, worth about $50.33 billion. So this man is still dollar cost averaging. He doesn't care what the price is. He's just going to keep on buying. And I'm sure he positioned himself so well that's like, again, I keep getting text from my buddy, oh, Saylor's probably sweating. He could have waited and bought at this price. Again, Saylor doesn't care anymore. I'm sure his company has quite enough cash flow coming in to where it's like the volatility doesn't even matter anymore. He already put aside fans for the dividends when it comes to the Bitcoin and the ETF strategy out there. So it's like they got nothing to worry about. They just want to keep accumulating because they know Bitcoin will go up in the future. So even though he's still buying and accumulating right now, price is going to go down for the bit, but he is still positioning himself and his company to be well off in the future. But let's continue with this article. So Bitcoin fell under $87,000 after Monday's Wall Street open as sellers liquidated 200 million of Bitcoin longs. So Bitcoin longs pay the price as market falls fast. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView captured a volatile start to the US TradeFi trading week. And here is that dip we saw this morning. But sell pressure is increased at the opening bell, with market commentators singling out Binance and Wintermute as sources of the supply. So here's Trezor announcing breaking, Binance and Wintermute dumping millions of BTC. They liquidated over 100 million long positions in the past 5 minutes. This is pure manipulation, someone's saying. Now, long liquidations quickly mounted and, at the time of writing, had passed $200 million in a little over an hour, per data from Glassnode. Now, commenting already, bearish traders saw little reason to believe that a trend reversal or even a significant relief bounce would come next. My only issue now is selling volume isn't very high, so we will likely catch another bounce around 84,000, said trader Roman, wrote an X update. But even if we bounce, I still believe we get to 76,000 in due time. So yeah, so it's not a 25 or an 80% dip down to 25,000. He's believing we could go down to 76. So different traders have different viewpoints on where we can go. But analyzing exchange order book data, trader Dan Crypto Trades described the current price action as a massive liquidity hunt. He said that I think it will just be more BART moves all over, and he predicted about the outlook into the new year. Now, referring to a chart phenomenon where a price suddenly rises or falls, only to stage a repeat move back to its original position later. Now, Alejandro's BTC was among those who were more optimistic about the eventual outcome, despite the price nearing new month-to-date lows. Now, we finally broke the range that's been forming since early December. This tells me that we're going to sweep the next set of lows, but still operating inside a large range, he told his ex-followers. So he said specifically, nothing has changed, direction is unclear short term, but I still expect a test of 100,000 and 105,000 once this range resolves. So yeah, so once we resolve like our new low, whether it's 84,000, whether it's 76, whether it's 70, wherever it's lows, once we reach those levels, then we may see them to bounce back up to 100,000, 105. So this is how traders are trying to position themselves right now. But strategy hits BTC buy at $92,000, like we just saw in that Twitter post. So in a classic fashion, Bitcoin prices downside increased as strategy, the public company with the world's largest Bitcoin treasury, announced another purchase. Now, this time, a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission said that the company bought 10,645 Bitcoin at an average price of $92,098 per coin. So Sailor can buy 10 billion and the price will still dump because they're not dumping real Bitcoin. Happy Monday, US market open. That was from Will Panda. But as the responses bemoaned, the detrimental impact on the price performance, on-chain analysis argued that long-term bottom was already forming. And as expected, the premium that Bitcoin longs are paying shorts on leveraged trades reversed at the top of the descending pattern that we've seen since July. Now, On-Chain College wrote in an X post covering the funding rates on Bitcoin futures market. This chart suggests a bottom is being ironed out, but a further drop in both price and funding rates is expected first. So let's see. So where is their bottoming price going at? What does that really say? Or which one is this really going? Bitcoin perpetual futures? I cannot read that chart, but that's what they see. Like they do see that we're forming a bottom. That's where their line is going, and yeah. So once we hit that bottom, hopefully we get another price, pounce. What word was I even trying to say? Hopefully we get a nice little bounce back up again to that 100,000, 105, and I would love to do that. So again, even if you're just holding long term, we're going to get back to where we were, and eventually we're going to keep going higher. So yeah, even so for us long-term Bitcoin holders out there, I still see nothing to worry about. Again, if you're a long-term Bitcoin holder, you're convicted, you know what Bitcoin's going to do. You see the troubles with the traditional system right there. You just want more Bitcoin. You don't care where the price is right now. You're not selling it. You're preparing yourself and your family for the future. So yeah, so that's a lot of our negative Bitcoin news, but let's go through some positive news. Like what's going on? Like also last week with Strategy, like they were trying to get pushed out of the S&P 500 or what was that? But it looks like they maintained their NASDAQ 100 spot despite the MSCI drama. So let's go through this article. Let's just hear the conclusion, or unless it's still ongoing. But Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, has kept its place in the NASDAQ 100 during this year's reshuffling. At first, since joining the index in a similar event last year, this comes as a piece of good news as the Bitcoin corporate buyer contends with the risk of possible exclusion from Morgan Stanley Capital international indexes. But MSTR survives the first NASDAQ 100 reshuffling. On Friday, December 12th, Reuters revealed that Strategy with the ticker MSTR, the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, has survived its first NASDAQ 100 rebalancing since joining the index. Now, as its name suggests, the NASDAQ 100 tracks the performance of 100 of the largest non-financial companies listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange. According to a report, this reshuffling saw Biogen, CDW, Global Foundries, Lululemon on Semiconductor, and Trade Desk lose their places in the index. At the same time, on Yam, Pharmaceuticals, Ferrovial, Insmed, Monolithic Power Systems, Seagate, and Western Digital made it into the NASDAQ 100. I guess those yoga pants with Lululemon aren't selling too hot right now. I'm sorry a joke. But these changes to the NASDAQ 100 index are expected to come into effect on Monday, December 22nd. Now, despite the positive nature of this development, the MSTR price closed the day on a nearly 4% decline, which has been in the theme for the stocks as of late. According to the latest market data, the Strategy stock is down by almost 25% in the past month. Now, Strategy urges the MSCI to reconsider the index criteria. So furthermore, this positive event comes at a time when the other index providers are reevaluating their inclusion criteria. As Bitcoinist earlier reported, global index provider the MSCI stated that it is considering the exclusion of companies with business models that focus heavily on crypto assets. However, Strategy's co-founder and chairman, Michael Saylor, stated that the firm is not merely a passive Bitcoin holding entity, but rather a software firm with a proactive financial strategy. According to Saylor, the firm is in discussions with the MSCI regarding its plan to exclude companies whose crypto holdings exceeded 50% of the total assets from its indices. Now, in a recent letter endorsed by Saylor and CEO Fong Li, Strategy voiced its support for MSCI's intentions to establish consistent eligibility criteria across its indices. Now, nevertheless, the firm urged MSCI to reconsider its plans to delist companies with over 50% digital asset holdings from its global investable market indexes. Now, while Saylor has countered their evaluation, saying an exclusion won't make any difference in JP Morgan, analysts estimate that Strategy alone might face outflows of up to $2.8 billion as a direct consequence of the MSCI's data. So, yeah, MicroStrategy, let's say Strategy. Strategy survived because that's their new name. Strategy, the power of B, used to be MicroStrategy, but Strategy did survive that reshuffling of the NASDAQ 100, and there were some companies that didn't. So again, and they're also playing a role too. Saylor and the CEO of Strategy are talking to the MSC guys saying, hey, you guys shouldn't block people with 50% more. And again, because that was the first of digital holding more than digital assets, because that's what got them into this first. But now it's like going, hey, we're just a software company with a nice strategic financial ability, or strategy. So that's some pretty good news going right there. It takes us away from the negative news. Bitcoin's price can go down, but this company is still buying Bitcoin like we've seen, and it's not stopping. So that's some bullish news again. Like, they're not going to stop once 2026 happens. Oh, we're at 670,000 Bitcoin. We're good, guys. Let's just stop buying. No, they're going to keep doing it through 2026. We're going to get some other institutions, treasury companies still doing the same thing. So hopefully that again does what does that do? I'm looking at the previous articles. Like, where was it? Veteran traders. So hopefully it makes that correction of this. What's that word I want to see? Like, can big institutions. So she can announcement over the past week. What was the article I wanted to say? Can these big guys still thwart the 80% correction by them still buying in? So I think so. But yeah, so what else is going on? Let's take a quick, I don't know, but that's some pretty good news right now. But let's take a quick commercial break, guys. I know, short video, I only have not so many articles, but let's take a quick commercial break right now, and I'll be back with our last final two articles. Again, very short video today, guys. Sorry for being late. Had a morning meeting today. But let's play these quick messages and I'll be right back.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we are back in blurry. Let the camera get focused again. Hold on. There we go. That's pretty good enough. But welcome back. So yes, guys, if you want to take advantage of our programs we have at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, go to bitcoinben.io or give us a call that's scrolling down here at 941-413-8080. And again, take advantage of that confidential bulk purchases. That's what the big players are doing. They're not buying off the exchanges because that's going to fluctuate the price. They do it over the counter, keep that price as low as possible so they can accumulate as much Bitcoin as they can. And they're doing it privately. So definitely check out our confidential bulk purchase program and see if that's something for you. I'd say do not miss out on it. Take advantage of these offers that the normal public just doesn't gain access to. So let's continue on with the news. What else is going on in the crypto space? So I guess today this SEC Crypto Task Force was to host a roundtable on financial surveillance and privacy today. So it started off with the opening remarks from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Then there was later on discussions of financial surveillance and privacy, and then panel on finance and surveillance privacy. And I think because of this, we had the SEC Chair Paul Atkins say that public blockchains are more transparent than any legacy financial system ever built. That is so true. It's transparent. We don't know what's going on in the legacy system out there. So we got it from the SEC Chair himself saying, yep, we're going to go to Bitcoin. Well, he's not saying we're going to go to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the most public blockchain and transparent blockchain out there. So they can make all of their stable coins out there doesn't really matter. That's going to be their control, but that's our transition point to get onto the blockchain space and eventually into Bitcoin. So yeah, that's some very bullish news for the future. Again, I love seeing that news article. That's why I'm bullish on 2026. Changes are still happening. So just because it's a red Christmas right now doesn't mean 2026 is going to continue being red. But again, so let's continue on with the news though. So it looks like we're getting some more adoption in Texas because crypto ATM operators are to expand in Texas, citing friendly regulation. Now, Bitcoin Bancorp will join Bitcoin Depot, CoinFlip, and others in offering crypto ATMs to the Lone Star State, where the government has invested in Bitcoin as a reserve asset. So, cryptocurrency ATM operator Bitcoin Bancorp, formerly known as Bullet Blockchain, said it will deploy up to 200 machines in Texas as part of its national expansion strategy. Now, in a Monday notice, Bitcoin Bancorp said that the move into Texas expected for the first quarter of 2026 and is part of a strategy to deploy ATMs nationwide. The company said that Texas was one of the most crypto-forward jurisdictions, citing that the state's business-friendly regulation, modernized money transmitter laws, and pro-innovation policy environment. Now, with a population of about 32 million people and the second most populous U.S. state, Texas has grown to become a significant cryptocurrency hub in the country. In addition to ATM operators like Bitcoin Depot and CoinFlip, which have deployed machines, the state is home to several Bitcoin miners, including Riot Platforms, Cypher Mining, and BitDeer. And it's also home to one of our Bitcoin Ben crypto clubs. That's right, we're in Plano, Texas. If you're ever nearby, definitely stop on by. Say hey to our operator Thomas down there. He always hosting a crypto coffee meetup on Saturdays, so definitely check out the club out there. But Texas is a booming state, especially with Bitcoin adoption. But in the last year, Texas lawmakers became the first to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, allowing the state to hold the cryptocurrency as part of its long-term financial assets. Now, the text of the bill would allow other digital assets to qualify for purchase, signaling that Ethereum could be the next in the state's investment strategy. But I believe the ruling, though, is the coin must have a market cap balance of $500 billion. And as of right now, that is only Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 1.7 billion market cap. Ethereum's at 355. Tether is at 186. So in order for any other digital asset to be qualified for their strategic crypto reserve, it's got to be above 500 billion. I believe that's with most states out there. But Texas invests Bitcoin ETFs amid its reserve strategy. So again, if you missed that article out there, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill establishing a state-managed fund to hold Bitcoin in June. And then in November, state officials said that they had purchased $5 million worth of shares in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund, with plans to invest the additional $5 million directly into the cryptocurrency itself. Now, other U.S. states, including Arizona and New Hampshire, have passed similar bills allowing their treasuries to hold digital assets. However, neither appear to have publicly announced any significant purchase since the laws have been passed in 2025. So again, who knows, 2026, we could get some more announcements there. Again, and that's going to keep the Bitcoin bullish momentum going, as we just still see more adoption happening. Texas is very booming with there. I think New Hampshire, Arizona, Wyoming's always been big. Florida's definitely getting big too, but again, adoption's happening around the states, but just not in the US. It's happening all over the world right now. So as long as I keep seeing articles like that, I'm not worried about a bearish market happening. I think we're going to just have a nice slow increase in Bitcoin's price. So as long as this keeps going, eventually though, we will get to the point where again, Bitcoin's just so scarce that it's going to cost that price to go up. But until that time does happen, I do believe we're going to have a nice steady growth throughout 2026, 2027. And hey, then we get our Bitcoin halving event happening again, and then boom, another price increase or another catalyst point to cause that price to go up. But yeah, so crypto ATMs by Bitcoin Bancorp is coming to Texas, and that's again part of their broader plan, a strategic plan to go nationwide. Now let's move on to our final news article out there, where we got to keep our crypto safe. Don't fall for these pig butchering scams out there where you think you're falling in love with someone online, and then next thing you know, they steal all your crypto. And it's happening with this gentleman right here. Very sad what happened to him. But Bitcoin can't magically double, and an advisor sounds the alarm after a client lost one whole Bitcoin. Oh, that sucks. So, a recently divorced father lost his only Bitcoin after being convinced a stranger loved him and could double his money. So, right there, don't look for strange love online. And if anybody ever says they could double your money, it is most likely a scam. So, never fall for those. Those are some red flag signs out there that should tell you, oh, I shouldn't be sending this person any money. Maybe I should just block him. And if you can't deter that, be a member of the club. That's what we're here for. Give us a call. You just go, hey, someone's telling me they can double my money. It's like okay, we'll ask you, who is this person? How do you know? How do they exactly plan on doing it? What site are they going to take you to? Are they just sending you a wallet to send your Bitcoin to, and they're going to handle it all? Whatever they tell us, we're going to tell you right then and there. It's a scam. Don't do it. And we'll tell you exactly what kind of scam, and especially this one, pig butchering. Fake romance online. I don't care how many years you've been talking to them online. Even if you met them just one time, this is a scam, plain as sight. So if this man was a member of the club, maybe he would have saved that one Bitcoin. But let's hear exactly again how he fell for the scam, so that way you're aware of what it looks like, and that way you do not fall for it too. But Bitcoin advisor and author Terrence Michael of the Bitcoin Advisor has issued a stark warning to the crypto community after revealing that one of his clients lost his entire Bitcoin holdings to a pig butchering scam. Now, as social engineering frauds continue to cause rampant damage, even multi-signature wallets cannot stop a determined victim from sending Bitcoin to a scammer posing as a trader. Now, romance, riches, and ruin. In a post on X, Michael said that the client in question was not wealthy and had recently accumulated one Bitcoin after years of saving. He had moved his funds off of Coinbase into a multi-signature wallet structure set up with a Bitcoin advisor and Unchained, and it is important to note that this configuration was intended to improve the security and inheritance. So yeah, he wanted a multi-sig wallet out there to keep it a little bit extra protected. 2 layers or 2 credentials needed to make the transaction. So he thought he was going to be safe because of it. But according to Michael, the loss was not caused by any technical failure at all. It was compromised private keys or a breach of the custody setup. But by the psychological manipulation, the client was contacted by a person posing as a trader who promised high returns and gradually developed a romantic relationship with him. They even convinced the recently divorced father that they were in love and planned to spend the holidays together. Now, Michael said he and others quickly recognized the situation as a classic pig butchering scam, where fraudsters slowly gain trust before convincing victims to send them money. So despite hours of phone calls, repeated text messages, and articles warning about such schemes, the client still remained convinced that the offer was real and chose to move forward. And again, we can give people as all the information we can to let them know that it's a scam out there, but in the end, it's always the user's fault. So even if you come to us and we tell you it's a scam, like if you choose to do it, it's on you, and there's nothing to do to get it back. Because once you send Bitcoin over, there's no more middleman. It was a peer-to-peer. The scammer needs to send you back the money, or it's gone forever. So again, we can try to steer you in the right direction, but we can't make you actually drink that water. So Michael said that he and others quickly recognized the classic. So despite hours of phone calls, he still chose to move forward with it. But while the multi-signature arrangement introduced delays and required additional confirmations to get through for him to send it, Michael said it could not ultimately prevent the transfer once the client chose to authorize it. Now, advisors attempted to slow the process by encouraging the client to move funds to a personal wallet first, hoping the extra time would allow him to reconsider. Now, Michael said that the episode was particularly devastating because the Bitcoin represented the client's primary financial asset and potential source of long-term security for his young daughter. Now, the advisor added that the case highlighted a broader reality in crypto's ecosystem, that while robust custody tools can protect against hacks and technical mistakes, they offer limited defense against scams driven by emotional manipulation, which is true. You can have all the highest security in the world. You have your Calyx Solution crypto laptop. You hold on to your private keys, which is in your Exodus wallet. Like, you do everything right, but there is no amount of security that can prevent emotional manipulation. So even though you took all the right steps to keep it safe, if you fell for someone's fake emotional plot to make you fall in love with them, make them get you to send them money, there is no security to really stop that. That's all you making that decision. So again, this is a post. So he said, I post this as a warning to anyone else you might know who falls victim to the scam. Bitcoin can't magically double, and certainly can't double by someone you haven't met who is also falling in love with you. So that's his warning to people who might be in a pig butchering scam out there. But romance scams go global, or they've been global for so many years. Last year, Nigerian authorities arrested 792 people in one of the country's largest crackdowns on crypto-related romance scams. According to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the operation found an organized network where foreign nationals worked with Nigerian recruiters to carry out romance and investment scams targeting victims across the world. Investigators said that recruits were trained to impersonate foreign women online and lure victims into fake crypto investments. Authorities seized hundreds of SIM cards and computers and are continuing investigations with international partners. Now, more recently, Australian authorities uncovered massive misuse of cryptocurrency ATMs after a months-long investigation found more than 150 scam cases, as victims lost over $3.1 million in a year. In one case, a woman in her 70s lost $281,000 after falling for a romance and investment scam and repeatedly deposited cash into crypto ATMs. Now, Ostrac said many victims were manipulated rather than criminally involved. In response, regulators introduced stricter rules, introducing cash limits, scam warnings, and strong customer checks to curb fraud. And I think that's actually good to put cash limits on crypto ATMs out there because, yeah, that crypto ATMs are a big tool for scammers. They just with these pig butchering scams, they'll text them a QR code of their Bitcoin wallet and go, here, send the Bitcoin over here. This is how you're going to do it. And the person usually they're scamming has no idea about crypto, Bitcoin, how it works in general. They go to a crypto ATM, they put all this money in, scan that QR code, which is the scammer's wallet address, and then once they realize they've been scammed, they go like, wait, the crypto, or they don't even know. They still believe that crypto is in the ATM. It's like no, there's no crypto on the ATM. Like, what was the QR code you scanned? Like, they go, I scanned this one. It's like, is that from your wallet? They go, no, what's my wallet? It's like, well, it's gone. And at that point, so it sucks that this happens, but crypto ATMs are a big source. So another tip is if anybody pretending to be in love with you or telling you to send them crypto and they're giving you directions to go to a crypto ATM, it's a scam. Because again, if you're in crypto, you know there's a lot more cheaper ways to do it. You can buy it off Coinbase, Cash App, Upbit, which is definitely they still have a fee, but it is a smaller fee compared to the ATMs out there. But enough of that though too. That's just a whole nother thing. But again, if anybody's telling you to go to a crypto ATM, just put up and giving you instructions like scan the QR code, put the money in, it's a scam. So just do not do anything. Stop right there. If you're coming in our club, we will ask you as many questions as we can to try and get you not to do it. It's like, do you know who you're signing this to or whatever? Like, we'll try our best to stop you. But if you go through it, it's still all on you. And who else was there? Another example of that. We try our best to, even the ATMs themselves. Yeah, oh, got blurry again. There we go. But even the crypto ATMs themselves, like when you sign up for them, like you got to go through the process, almost like a KYC, scan your driver's license. They even has all the questions on there. Do you know who this person is? They even give you like a list of all the types of scams out there, and then you still agree saying you understand all of that. So again, just be aware of these types of scams out there so you do not fall for them. So again, if someone's trying to fall in love with you, saying they can double your money, it's probably a scam if it's online. If someone's telling you to go to a crypto ATM machine to put cash in, and that's how they're going to send them money, it's a scam. So again, look out for these signs. There's many different types of scams out there. So just be aware what they look like so you do not fall for them. Because again, like this one guy right here, he worked so hard for that one whole Bitcoin. Like that could have been life-changing for his daughter and just even generations beyond that. So do not risk losing it. Keep learning in the space, understand the signs of what scams look like, and just always self-custody. Don't leave it on exchanges out there. Keep it in your own control. So yeah, guys, so I guess the moral of the story is stay safe. Don't get so worried about the price being like a red Christmas right now. It's like, yeah, we may have a little dip. We could test 84,000. We could test 80. If it keeps going, we could touch 76. But again, 2026, I think is still going to be a very bullish year. So even though it's red right now, I'm still going to be seeing green in 2026. And I do believe that with adoption still booming, sure, ETF inflows are slowing down. I just feel as everything still goes according to plan, I got nothing to worry about. Bitcoin price would go higher, but again, just dollar cost average if you don't want to be a trader out there, because traders come with so much stress out there, and it's just easier to buy and hold. When the future happens, we're all winning. But that's it for the news today. Bitcoin is currently sitting at 86,000 as of the time of this writing. Ethereum's at 2,900, just shy of 3,000. fear and greed index is 24. And again, crypto bubbles, everything is red right now. So it's not just Bitcoin down. When Bitcoin dips, everything goes with it. When Bitcoin rises, everything goes too. And it's kind of fun. But that's it for the news, guys. Sorry again for being late today. Again, I can never tell when I have meetings in the mornings how long they're going to take. But I will always try to be here at 12 o'clock noon. If I'm not back on by at least 3 o'clock, expect no show going on. But thank you guys for being here today, staying up to date with the news for me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe on your way out. And if you guys want more information, again, about our club programs, go to bitcoinben.io or give us a call or text at 941-413-8080. So take care, guys. Peace, love you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.